Nous sommes très honorés d'avoir Madame la ministre des Sports sur notre panel. Madame la ministre, vous êtes notre super ministre depuis quelques années déjà. Avant cela, vous avez été CEO de Rwanda Convention Bureau. Et avant encore, vous étiez député CEO de RDB. Vous avez aussi travaillé au bureau du président de la République. Vous étiez sa directrice adjointe de cabinet. Quel parcours! Applaudissez-le. Madame la ministre, vous êtes un modèle pour des jeunes, un modèle surtout pour des jeunes femmes qui souhaitent être comme vous. Mais votre parcours n'a pas été un long fleuve tranquille. Il a été marqué par des défis, parfois des épreuves difficiles, qui ont demandé courage, résilience et détermination. Nous sommes donc heureux de vous avoir sur ce panel pour que vous nous expliquiez votre parcours. Votre mère a été condamnée pour crime de génocide. Elle est parmi les génocidaires les plus célèbres, si on peut dire ça comme ça. Pourtant, cela ne vous a pas empêché d'accéder à des postes importants. Nous venons d'énumérer quelques-uns des postes que vous avez occupés au sein du gouvernement. Alors, pourriez-vous partager votre histoire ainsi que votre parcours aux jeunes qui sont rassemblés ici? Et quels conseils pouvez-vous donner à des jeunes, à des personnes qui ont une même histoire que vous, ou même qui vivent dans des familles où le négationnisme, le discours de haine existe? Quels conseils pouvez-vous leur donner? Et enfin, comment, dans votre vision, expliquez-vous la non-discrimination, Madame la ministre?
Urakoze hirwa, muraho? Mumeze neza? Muri monde isi y'abasportif tuba dufite uburyo dusuhuzanya. In the world of sport people, you always have a way you greet each other. So we are going to greet each other. When I say Team Rwanda, you say one team. And if I say one team, you say Team Rwanda. So we go, Team Rwanda! One team. Oh no, I don't hear you. I mean, I'm even screaming more than you. Team Rwanda! One team! One team! Team Rwanda! There you go. Thank you very much. So, ndishimye cyane kuba ndi kumwe namwe uyu munsi. Natangira nshima cyane n'ubuyobozi bwacu buba bwadushoboje kugira ngo tugire umwanya nk'uyu, kandi ndashima cyane urubyiruko turi kumwe. Thank you so much all the young people in this room. Nous vous remercions les jeunes gens avec qui nous sommes aujourd'hui. Ndabasuhuje cyane. So, yes, you can clap. Thank you. I'll be mixing English and French and Kinyarwanda so that all of us we can follow. I want us to take a moment, just one moment, to think on what he's just said. In his introduction, he's speaking of a daughter of a mother that was involved in the genocide against the Tutsi. This is a daughter that has got access to education to the highest level. This is a daughter that has got responsibilities in different levels, as he mentioned, including working in the highest office in the country, the office of the president for 10 years. This is a daughter that today, as a minister of one of strategic sectors in the country, sports, which is also, I have to say, one of the coolest. I mean, clock it. And she's not only a minister, listen to this. She sits in the cabinet that is chaired by His Excellency Paul Kagame, the man who left everything, who put his life on line to save Rwandans from the genocide, to liberate Rwandans from the same genocide her mother took part of. I just want you to take a moment to let that sink in. Ça ne peut pas exister si ce n'est pas un pays qui a été changé, transformé, si ce n'est pas un pays qui est ancré dans les principes d'inclusivité, de droit, d'équité, d'égalité. Un pays qui donne les opportunités à chacun d'entre nous. It can only happen in a country that is totally transformed, that is changed. And this is not propaganda. It's not politics. It's not hyping. It's real. We are here. Eugenie was here. I'm here. You will hear a lot of it here. You know, there's a word people like to use, untold story. These are the untold stories, the realities. And he asked me an interesting question. How was I able to overcome that, to go through that? What helped me are, first of all, the 3 choices that our country made under the leadership of our president. I believe most of us, we know these choices, but it's also important to repeat them many times because these are choices that govern our lives. The choice of unity. The choice of unity made that me and others who have same stories or even different complex stories to be embraced and be Rwandans. The choice of accountability that made my mother to have to face justice, because without justice there can't be forgiveness. Without forgiveness there can't be healing, there can't be transformation. That's the starting point. The choice of thinking big that enabled me and you all the opportunities we are going to discuss that you'll see. Those choices made me take my own choices. And I want to talk about those choices as well. Les choix que mon pays a pris ou a fait de l'unité, de la comptabilité ou bien de se rendre compte entre nous-mêmes en tant que Rwandais et le choix d'avoir une vision ont fait que moi-même j'ai aussi dû faire mes choix. Because it starts from me and you. I made 5 choices that I'm going to go through quickly. The first one, I refused to be defined by fear. And I used that fear to be the fuel to fight for what is right. Being in a context of post-genocide, you are a child of a genocide perpetrator. Believe me, you are scared. I learned about my mother's involvement 2 years after the genocide. When the genocide happened in 1994, I was not with my mother. I was with my father and my younger brother and sister. Everything that happened, we had a world apart. Because my father is a Tutsi, we had a world apart, we had another reality. Until in 1996, when I was in a classroom, one of my friends, a genocide survivor, because after 94, I believed my mother had died. And I was even telling people my mother died. I had no idea, I had no news, nothing, for 2 good years. She was in Congo. But I did not know. My father happened to know, and Eugenie mentioned it, sometimes our parents do not tell us the truth. Sometimes because they want to protect us, or sometimes because it's also hard to swallow. It was also challenging for my father to swallow that, leave alone to tell me that. So for 2 good years, I did not know where my mother was. I thought she was dead. Would tell everybody she died. Then in class with my friend, her name, with my name, because in IDs in the past, they used to put the parents' name, but also their children's. She showed me a newspaper. So la première fois que j'ai dû entendre que ma mère a été impliquée dans le génocide, c'était 2 ans après le génocide, et je l'ai pris dans une nouvelle, les papiers, a newspaper. I saw the picture of my mother, I saw my name, the name of my brother and sister, and I could not believe my eyes. So it was very hard to swallow. And then the journey started. First of all, I was in the part of the survivors. Immediately, I became a betrayer because most of my friends could not believe that I didn't know that. How? So you were lying, you're pretending to be someone else, you're cheating. Rejection comes. And then you, as a person, you're going through denial. So fear comes. You lose identity. D'un côté, tu es un enfant d'un père Tutsi qui a aussi perdu parmi ses familles. De l'autre côté, tu es la fille d'Inheramwe. Tu es la fille de Mngamini. Et le monde s'est écroulé. Tu n'as plus d'identité, tu ne sais plus tu es qui. Et c'est la peur. But one big decision I took in that moment is that as young as I was, I decided to not be governed by that fear. I decided to confront it, visit my mother to try and find the truth, went through a long journey, including one time I went in a commemoration event, and while I was seated there, someone came and spitted on me. And he was, what a child of Ngamini can be doing here. Nagashinyaguro. Do you know what is that in Kinyarwanda or in English or French? It's like you're coming to te moque de nous, or you're mocking us. It was hard. Of course, I was hurt, humanly. But I took courage and I told him, I am here because even if I hadn't lost anyone in my family, I'll still be here. Because I'm Rwandan, you have lost, my country has lost, and commemoration is not only for survivors. It's also for those who have parents, who have families that took part of that, because we all remember. And we don't remember only to be in darkness and sadness, we remember also to make sure it never happens again. So I decided not to stay in that fear. I decided to use it to do the right thing, including being where people think you should not be. The second choice I took is to not be governed by pain, but transform that pain into power that makes me work hard. Le deuxième choix que j'ai pris, c'est de ne pas être dans la peine, rester dans la peine, parce que c'est pas évident. En tant qu'une jeune fille de 12 ans, ta vie change, tout se bouleverse. Tu as la peine dans ton cœur, parce que tu ne sais pas pourquoi tu es en train de vivre tout ce que tu es en train de vivre. Mais je me suis dit que j'ai la peine que j'ai dans mon cœur, je dois l'utiliser pour changer, pour aussi travailler dur. And the third choice I took was to not stay in loss, but be governed by love. And I want to mention this because I know sometimes when I say this, people wonder, love in a context of politics and really. Love is the power that helped me, and I believe can help also many to heal and to be able to go over, and also to realize that I cannot do it by myself. I had to approach friends, family, people, and I have the system, I have the country that helped me to go through that. The love of the country is the one that has made our leaders to sacrifice everything, including fighting any sort of discrimination and all that has enabled us to be here. And then from that, I decided also to transform that whole shame. When you are a child that has parents involved in the genocide, you have shame. I know whenever I talk of this story, there's nothing glorious in saying that your parent took part in genocide. There's nothing glorious into that. There's no pride into that, but it's a fact. And facts have to be taken as facts. So you have shame, you have guilt, but I decided and I realized that I cannot accept to continue being governed by guilt and shame of something I did not do. I can't carry burdens that are not mine, but I can learn from them and make my own choices and decisions. So I told myself it's time to change this whole shame into shine by working hard, by adding new positive things. And I'm grateful to the leadership we have today because opportunities are there to do that. And last, which is not least, was to sit and say, I am not repairing what my mother did. I can't. She can't. Nobody can. You know, our president once said, we cannot turn the clock back, neither can we erase or change what happened. So everything I do, I am not redeeming my mother. No. I am not repairing. No. But I am making sure that I am planting and leaving a seed that is different from the one she left. So the tragedy she took part of, the genocide against the Tutsi, my assignment is to make it a triumph by making sure that it doesn't happen again. That nobody can stand and start mocking and tell us that what we are living and we lived is nothing. That you are making it a case. We are not seated here. You know, people like to say, oh, you're strong. Eugenie, we said, you're brave, you're strong. So-and-so is strong. Oh, Nelly, you're strong. So strength to go through all those painful moments, to rebuild everything that Rwandans went through on an individual basis or country. It's not decoration. It takes courage. It takes fighting. It takes pain. It takes sleepless nights. It takes resolution. It takes sacrifices. So we have not made these 32 years of sacrifices to allow anybody coming from nowhere to make it nothing. So that's my fight, and that's my decision. You cannot criticize or make genocide disputable, something we need to do a scientific research about it, unless you're going to come and start doing autopsy on us. Because those are not research. Those are realities. I'm not a research. I'm a reality. I'm a living testimony. She is serving a life sentence. I am not going to see her out. She's serving a life sentence, and she's there because of what she did. So what she did is real. That is why nobody can wake up and start bring negationism, bring criticism on genocide. Oh, let's think about it. Let's re-question. Young people here, there are things people discuss, brainstorm on, exchange on, and there are lines people do not cross. So we can't allow that. Don't be mistaken. Let nobody start changing your mind. Que personne ne te mente ou c'est une réalité. Nous sommes là. Je suis un témoignage. Eugénie, il y a les autres. Ça s'est passé. Il y a des gens qui sont responsables et notre responsabilité, c'est de changer. C'est de changer cette histoire. C'est de combattre et de remettre et de transformer notre pays. With all those choices I have made, that's how I was able to overcome and move forward. quickly on the second question. What advice can I give to those who are living the same condition or the same realities or even different? Our parents, you know, life is made of choices and decisions. You feel me, young people? You feel me? Life is made of choices. Our parents made their own choices. Nos parents ont fait leurs choix, ils ont pris leurs décisions. Yes, we are victims, but we learn from them. We also have a choice. Do not really continue being stuck in what your parents have been involved into, but learn from it. Learn from our history as Rwandans. Secondly, take a decision to also act. It is your responsibility now. It is my responsibility, our responsibility to transform. Third, speak the truth. Embrace the truth. One time someone asked me, "Oh, you, Nelly, when are you going to stop talking about the story of your mother? You've been telling the story of your mother for the last 32 years. When are you going to stop?" And I told that person, I will stop when I will die. Because at the end of the day, I carry that story with me. Even when I'm walking, I carry that story with me. I carry her name. I am not her. I am Mukazaire Nelly. But I carry her name. She's my mother. So I will never stop talking about the truth, because as the Bible says, for those who believe and read the Bible, they saying, "Go, you shall know the truth, and the truth shall set you free." So freedom comes also from truth. So for those who have the same background as me, or different or complex and what, speak out the truth, because truth sets free. When we share this truth, we become free, and we set free our next generation. The third one is embrace your history and story. In speaking the truth, one of the toughest moments I had in my life was to explain to my kids. You know, speaking of losses, life can bring a lot of losses, and this is what I love about Rwanda. You know, Rwandans, we all are born with a resilience in DNA. Yeah. I believe so. Because, speaking of myself, speaking of losses, in the journey of my life, I also happened to lose my husband. He was a genocide survivor who survived with only one brother, with no parents, with no uncles, with no aunties in their family, everybody. We used to go together to visit my mother in the prison and take our kids to visit her. Even today, I take them to visit her. When they grew up, my daughter, when she was 12 years old, the same age I had when the genocide happened, she asked us once, but Mom and Dad, we were seated there. I'm going to close there. And it's very important because we are talking of next generations now. She asked us, with the younger brother, who was more younger, 9 years, what happened? Why, you tell us, grandma, uncles, aunties, they were killed during the genocide. At the same time, you take us to visit grandma in the prison. And you tell us she was involved in the genocide. She asked us, should I love her or hate her? I think that was one of the toughest moments I ever had in this journey. You know, when it's just about you, you can build strength and resilience in you and fight. When it's about someone else who has become a victim, for the parents, when it comes to your children, you are helpless. You don't know what to do. Donc, un des moments très difficiles, parce que je veux que même ceux qui comprennent le français comprennent ça, que j'ai eu, c'est quand ma fille, elle avait 12 ans, avec son frère qui avait 9 ans. Elle nous a posé la question parce que mon mari, qui n'est plus, que son âme se repose en paix, est survivant du génocide, qui a perdu toute la famille. Et moi, j'ai ma mère qui est en prison. Et puis, notre fille a demandé, maman, papa, vous nous avez dit que nous n'avons pas de famille, pas de grand-mère, pas de grand-père du côté de son père. Bien sûr, il n'y a personne qui ont été tués pendant le génocide. Mais en même temps, vous nous amenez rendre visite à grand-mère qui est en prison parce qu'elle a fait partie du génocide. Puis elle nous a demandé est-ce que je dois l'aimer ou la haïr. Et là, on ne savait vraiment pas quoi répondre. Moi, bien sûr, c'était pire. Et son père a essayé d'expliquer, lui a dit non, 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 toi tu ne dois pas aimer ou haïr, parce que ça c'est le passé, c'est les choses qui se sont passées dans lesquelles toi tu n'as pas de responsabilité. C'est ta grand-mère, tout ce qu'elle a fait c'est sa décision, ça ne doit pas t'affecter, ça ne doit pas faire partie du choix que tu dois faire. Puis, tu dois aussi pardonner, on a perdu grand-mère, on a perdu toute la famille, tout ça, mais tu vois, parce qu'il donnait l'exemple, moi aussi, j'ai pardonné, je veux aussi rendre visite à ma belle-mère. Donc, tu ne dois pas avoir la haine dans ton cœur. Tu es rwandaise, c'est le Rwanda, et toi, tu dois te définir comme ça, pas par rapport à ta grand-mère qui sont déjà vivants ou pas vivants. Ce n'était pas du tout facile. It was the toughest moment. But one thing I learned is that we have to embrace our history. And we have to make sure our children are aware of facts the way they are. Today, she's a grown-up girl, she's in university, she understands and she makes also her own decisions of how she builds her country. Today, she's proud to see, and I'm concluding there, that her mother, despite having a mother who was involved in the genocide, who's in jail, she is also a minister. So what you do and what we do as Rwandans today is what is going to speak volume to even those who have to come back from that. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Don't make me cry. Merci. Thank you. We clock it, right? We clock it. Clock it. Thank you. Team Rwanda? One team? Thank you. Back to you.
We have to embrace our history. C'est ce que j'ai retenu de ce que vous venez de nous dire, Madame la Ministre. Et merci beaucoup de votre courage de témoigner. Merci.